One of the biggest struggles people have today is learning to be alone with themselves and their thoughts. Whether you want to come in for a float or start meditating, a lot of people have hesitations because they're afraid of the negative self-talk that might come up. They're afraid of the things that are bothering them that they've been ignoring, because it's so easy to distract ourselves from those thoughts with our phones, with social media, with millions of other things that we could be doing. And so in my experience, when I talk to people and they struggle with the idea of floating, or maybe they struggled with their first float or meditation, it's because they keep judging themselves for having those thoughts. Let's say you are insecure about something, or there's a task you've been putting off. We start to become the bad guy, the villain in our own stories when we talk to ourselves. And we don't like that. So if that's something you struggle with, here's a tip that I do for myself, and I know works for a lot of other people too, which is to observe your thoughts as if you are someone else outside of yourself. This is going to help you detach from your thoughts. So for example, you have an insecurity about yourself, and that thought comes up. You look at that thought, you observe it, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Instead of saying to yourself, oh, I'm such a bad person because I had this thought about myself, or I did this thing, instead, have the thought of, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why I had that thought. I wonder who this person is and why they would think that way. And the more we observe our own thoughts as a separate person outside of ourselves, the easier it becomes to let them go. An analogy I like to use is like if you have a glass of water and it's full of mud and it's cloudy and dirty, people try to force out thoughts by shaking it even more. That only makes it worse. Really, you just gotta leave it alone, let it be, and eventually it'll clear. And that's the same thing with your mind. Don't try to force out thoughts in your mind. Just be okay with them being there, no matter what they are. And the more we can detach from ourselves, from those thoughts, the more we can begin to be at peace with our own thoughts. So if that's something you struggle with, that's your tip for today. Observe your own thoughts as if you are someone outside of yourself with curiosity, not judgment.